Welcome back to Fiction First. Today, we're diving into Daughter of Mine, a gripping psychological thriller by USA Today best-selling author Megan Miranda. Known for her expertise in suspense and mystery, Miranda has penned several bestsellers, including All the Missing Girls and The Last House Guest, the latter being a Reese Witherspoon book club pick, and currently in development for a TV adaptation. About the author. Megan Miranda is a New York Times best-selling author celebrated for her intricately plotted psychological thrillers. She has written both adult and young adult fiction, captivating readers with her suspenseful storytelling. Miranda's background in science, having studied at MIT, adds a layer of depth and precision to her narratives. She currently resides in North Carolina with her family. Plot summary. The novel is set in the small town of Mirror Lake, North Carolina, where Hazel Sharp, a 28-year-old woman, returns after years of self-imposed exile. She comes back for her stepfather Perry Holt's funeral, only to be confronted with long-buried secrets surrounding the disappearance of her mother, Libby Sharp, over a decade ago. Perry Holt was a well-respected local detective, a man the town revered. His death marks the end of an era, but also the beginning of new revelations. On the day of his memorial, a submerged car surfaces due to the drought lowering the lake's water level. Shortly after, another vehicle is discovered, this one belonging to Hazel's mother, Libby, who vanished without a trace all those years ago. Inside the car, Libby's empty luggage is found, raising unsettling questions. For years, Hazel believed her mother abandoned her, but this discovery forces her to reconsider everything. As she begins investigating, Hazel faces resistance from the town and even her own family. Her stepbrothers, Gage and Caden, both in law enforcement, warn her to let the past stay buried. The town itself, once a place of childhood memories, now feels suffocating, filled with secrets no one once unearthed. Through a series of revelations, Hazel discovers that Perry was not the flawless figure everyone believed him to be. Years ago, he accidentally killed his first wife, Audrey, while she was cycling at night. Instead of confessing, he covered up the crime with the help of his sons, cementing a legacy built on deception. This dark secret, long buried, is what ultimately entangled Libby in the town's corruption. As Hazel delves deeper, more tragedies unfold. Her childhood best friend Jamie disappears, and Jamie's mother is found murdered. The pieces of the puzzle finally align when Hazel realizes that Perry's brother, Roy, had been blackmailing Perry for years over Audrey's death. It was Roy who framed Libby for embezzlement, silencing her before she could expose his own financial crimes. In a tense confrontation, Roy tries to eliminate Hazel, but Caden intervenes, sustaining an injury in the process. Roy ultimately drowns in Mirror Lake, and with his death, the long-held secrets of the town finally come to light. The novel concludes with Hazel reconciling with her brothers and sharing Perry's estate equally. However, as is common in Megan Miranda's novels, some questions linger, leaving the reader contemplating the true cost of uncovering hidden truths. Themes and symbols. Impacts of childhood abandonment. Hazel and Caden both suffer the consequences of childhood trauma. Hazel grew up believing her mother abandoned her, shaping her sense of identity and belonging. Caden, meanwhile, internalized guilt over Libby's disappearance, wrongly believing his words drove her away. Their journeys highlight how unresolved childhood wounds can dictate adult behaviors and relationships. The burden of legacy and family secrets. The novel explores how past actions shape future generations. Perry's sons inherit not just his profession, but also his sins. Hazel, though not biologically related to Perry, is still entangled in his past due to her mother's involvement. The weight of these secrets affects all the characters, demonstrating how history has a way of repeating itself when left unchecked. Small-town surveillance and the erosion of trust. Mirror Lake is both a haven and a prison. In small communities, everyone knows everyone's business, yet the truth is often distorted by perception and influence. Perry and Roy manipulate this dynamic, maintaining control through fear and deception. The town's unwillingness to question authority perpetuates corruption, making it difficult for Hazel to seek justice. Lakes and mirrors as symbols. The very name Mirror Lake is significant. It reflects both literal and metaphorical truths. The lake, which hides long-buried secrets, eventually gives them up when the water level drops, symbolizing how time eventually exposes hidden truths. Similarly, mirrors in the novel serve as a metaphor for self-reflection, forcing characters to confront who they really are beyond the stories they've been told. Character exploration. Hazel Sharp. The protagonist of Daughter of Mine, Hazel is deeply shaped by the trauma of her mother's disappearance and the strained relationships within her family. Having left Mirror Lake almost a decade earlier, she returns after Perry Holt's death and is immediately thrust into a web of secrets. Defined by her mother's scandalous past, Hazel struggles with feelings of betrayal and abandonment. As the novel progresses, she becomes an active investigator, determined to uncover the truth about her mother and the town's hidden darkness. Libby Sharp. Though absent for most of the novel, Libby's influence looms large. Branded a con artist and thief, she disappeared under mysterious circumstances, leaving Hazel with more questions than answers. However, as Hazel digs deeper, she learns that Libby was uncovering dangerous truths before she was murdered. Libby's character serves as both a mystery and an emotional anchor for Hazel's journey. Perry Holt. The respected patriarch of the Holt family, Perry was a longtime detective in Mirror Lake. While he raised Hazel as his own, his legacy is complicated by the revelation that he covered up the accidental death of his first wife, Audrey. His actions set off a chain of events that ultimately tie into the town's darkest secrets. Gage Holt. As Hazel's older stepbrother, Gage is the more measured and rational of the Holt siblings. He is protective of the family's reputation and wary of Hazel's investigation but does not share Caden's hostility. Gage represents the tension between loyalty and truth, caught between preserving his father's image and acknowledging the reality of their family's past. Caden Holt. Hazel's younger stepbrother, Caden, is openly antagonistic toward her, never having accepted her as part of the family. His resentment stems from unresolved trauma related to their mother Audrey's death. Caden is a barrier to Hazel's investigation, embodying the family's reluctance to confront the past. Roy Holt. The true antagonist of the novel, Roy is Perry's brother and a powerful lawyer in Mirror Lake. Beneath his respectable facade, he is manipulative and corrupt, responsible for blackmailing Perry and ultimately murdering Libby to protect his financial crimes. Roy represents the town's hidden darkness and the lengths people will go to in order to maintain control. Jamie Holt. Hazel's former best friend and now Caden's wife, Jamie's disappearance adds another layer of mystery to the novel. Her strained relationship with Hazel highlights the themes of trust and betrayal within small-town dynamics. Nico. Hazel's childhood crush and one of the few people in town she still connects with, Nico represents a link to her past and a potential future in Mirror Lake. Though his involvement in the mystery is minimal, he serves as a reminder of what Hazel has left behind and what she might regain. Why you should read Daughter of Mine. Megan Miranda masterfully weaves suspense, emotional depth, and psychological intrigue into a novel that keeps readers hooked until the final page. With themes of family loyalty, deception, and self-discovery, Daughter of Mine offers a gripping exploration of how the past shapes the present. The book has received strong reviews across major platforms, 4.3 on Amazon, 3.9 on Goodreads, and 4.7 on Barnes & Noble, reflecting its gripping storytelling and compelling mystery. If you love psychological thrillers with rich character development and a compelling mystery, this book is for you. But what secrets remain buried in Mirror Lake? Could there be more to Libby's disappearance than what Hazel uncovered? Grab your copy today and find out. The link to purchase the book is in the description. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Fiction First for more in-depth book reviews. Until next time, happy reading.